So eventually I'm going to do that. But let's start off with the first piece of news, which is not really news. It's really just us talking about our impressions of the Mortal Kombat movie since it's based off a video game. So, Danny, actually, let's start on a positive note first, because I know you liked it more than most of us. So, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was great. I liked the movie. It was better than the original. They didn't rehash. They didn't make it. They kept it true to the game. There's a lot of great callbacks to the game. Even like the way the characters fought, they all fought very similar to the game, which is what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Keep characters true to what they are. Of course, this wasn't perfect. The movie wasn't. It wasn't like 10 out of 10. No, of course not. It was probably like a 6 out of 10, but it was better than expected because I expected it to be 100% trash. It was great for HBO. Maybe not to theaters, but then again, nothing's in theaters right now. I mean, they're in theaters, but they're both right now. Kano, definitely. Fucking everybody has to agree that
Oh
Kano
yeah, Kano was the
best.
movie right there.
I mean, and it wasn't even just his deliveries, the lines they gave him. For some reason, he had the best dialogue in the whole movie,
Mm-hmm.
except towards the end after he turned bad. If you realize it, that he kind of just fell off.
Yeah, I should mention real quick because I forget that we also have an audio version. So, because I typed in the chat spoilers for the Mortal Kombat movie. So if you guys haven't not watched the movie for some reason, because it's also on HBO, so you can watch it at home. But if you haven't watched the movie, there's going to be spoilers. We're going to be talking about spoilers. So,
So
yeah,
pause this, watch the movie, and then come back to right
yeah.
now. Okay, but
Wait,
yeah, it
so
was.
should I like step out, watch the movie, and then come back once it's like all done?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'll
that's
wait.
right.
Okay.
I'll wait. Let's pause right now. Go on, Danny.
No, we're waiting. Oh, um, what was I? Everything was. I thought the movie was a lot better than better than I thought of it. They did the Scorpion Sub Zero in the beginning. It was almost like beat from that old like YouTube thing they made.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that
I
was kind of
remember.
cool. That was cool. All the fight scenes were good fight scenes. I mean, all the fighting in it was really great. Some of the voice acting was pretty bad, but as you get for like a bunch of no name actors and that one name actor in that whole thing, they didn't 100% whitewash the cast. You didn't
Yeah.
have fucking Christopher Lambert playing Raiden. It was just like the movie was good.
Okay.
My biggest beef with
Hold
the
on, hold on, hold
movie.
on, hold on, hold on. Before you get to the negative stuff, because I also want to, because I feel like we're gonna be talking more about the negative stuff. That's also why I want to start with the positive, and plus like what things could have been better, what they should keep, and things like that. But I want to
Mhm.
go to Kevin now, also what he thought.
So, just like Danny said, the movie was, a personal opinion, I like the original first. It's not a negative. It's just like I personally like the original. But this movie, it was entertaining in the parts that they hit most, like the fatalities. And
Mhm.
my favorite part in that entire movie was Kano getting trained by Liu Kang and him doing like the
Yes.
sleep.
The Kung
Yep.
Lao, Kung Lao, yeah,
Yeah,
The cheese.
it was
The
just
the
it was
the
just the
sweet
the
sleep,
mood
cheese.
famine.
and
The
I was
mood
like, that is
famine.
the most cheapest shit in like the old Mortal Kombat games, and I was
Yeah.
glad. I was so like, I was smiling and laughing when that happened, and I was like, yo,
Oh,
they really did this, especially like the fake out jump. I was like, my
Yeah,
they got
god,
job
yeah.
exactly.
I was
That
like,
was perfect. That
this is
was
Mortal Kombat at its finest.
yeah.
I like I like some of the and how they introduced Liu Kang was like it was hilarious. It was just like a that's something that they did better than the first part. I would agree with that because they introduced him with a fireball because none of the live action movies had fireballs, and that was like the other live
No,
action movies
They
had
had a
he had
cheap
fireballs.
last
sparks.
moment fireball at the end of the
Yeah,
Yeah,
'90s.
and Liu Kang
sparks
literally
came out his hand at the end
Yeah,
yeah,
when
and
he
like he just
that was
threw it
bad.
at Kano, and then that was something else. Like they were using Kano as like I would say a punching bag because it was first
Mhm.
Liu Kang, then it was Raiden that hit him with lightning. I was like, is he not human? Apparently not. But yeah, I agree. It was a good movie. Like honestly, don't want to say nothing negative now. I can hold that for later.
well, I can do
but
that.
I like but
Go
I
ahead,
wait.
Danny.
I like the fact that they gave them power. Yes, it was kind of a cheesy, lame excuse, but They gave him powers. They gave him some type of explanation to how these humans are fighting the mortal realm and being on par with each other. Because it doesn't make any sense. Like realistically, if you watch the original movie, all those fucking realm people should have just killed them. Like Sub-Zero should have just froze everybody. It's just logically, it kind of made no sense.
It was kind of like an
To me.
imbalanced fighting game.
Yeah, the original movie to me was a very imbalanced fighting game, and they found a way to improve that. To have an excuse, okay, you have to train your powers, you have to train before you can actually fight into the realm. And the people they made you fight, the bad guys in this movie, were the three lamest villains from Mortal Kombat series, but I think that was purposely done. So when you do the next movies, you have the good
The
villains,
cooler ones.
the ones that are more known, and you put these crappy ones in first because that's what it is. You know, these aren't the real champions. They're going to be fighting in Mortal Kombat. These are the ones that are just stalling. I mean, your best one is Sub-Zero. I mean, I thought that was interesting.
I got some gripes about that note right there. But before anything, because I know Randy's kind of left out. He didn't watch the movie, but Randy, like, did you hear anything
One
good?
job.
Did you hear
Yeah,
anything
one
bad? Like, were you still wanting to watch the movie at all?
Let's see. There was your messages when I woke up, and some of my brother's friends, they enjoyed the movie. So I have like two parties that I trust both reviews for. So I'm like in the middle ground. I still haven't seen shit. And even if you guys spoil anything major, I'm probably gonna like zone it out, to be quite honest. So
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I'll be like, just tell me that, and don't worry about it. And then as I'm watching it, it's like, oh yeah, he got
yeah,
it.
it clicks like that. Like, I think I heard this somewhere. Where the fuck was it? And I'm like, oh right, okay, there we go.
Okay.
But no, like I'll still watch it. Maybe with a grain of salt or two.
Mm-hmm.
But what was it? What did you say that it was? Really good CG shit story.
And
Or was it
I
the
didn't
other way
think the CG was that great. I mean, I think Goro was obviously a lot better than it was in the 90s, but I still think the
Yeah.
CG
Gee, I
wasn't that
wonder
great
why.
in the movie.
It was good.
Reptile
There's
looked
nothing
good.
wrong.
So
But, like,
Reptile,
I would-
Reptile looked good, but I wasn't happy with the way he looked, like just in general. Like I mean, obviously
the
I didn't just want another like palette swap ninja like he traditionally is. Like I don't know, I just wasn't feeling the whole dinosaur look. I felt like I was watching like Super Mario Brothers all over again or something.
Can I tell you
Yeah,
what?
but in the lore, that's what they are. That's what their race
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Is the race
But there are
reptiles,
so
and then-
many different character models for Reptile, and that's just the one that I didn't like personally.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They can use in the next one, use the character model that you do like. Be
Hopefully.
like, look, Rep, he's back, type of whatever.
Yeah. He was dinosaur looking thing. When you mentioned about the low rent characters, I guess you can say, or like the shitty characters that they wanted to get those out of the way. So I do agree with you with some of them, like Natara, for example, Cabal.
Yeah.
I fucking hated the way he looked. He looked like he was a bad cosplay of himself. It
He
was
did
it
look.
was, it was
He-
really bad.
I did think he was the worst out of the
Yeah.
whole. He looked like a
And
bad like CGI.
I didn't like the way he acted. Shang Tsung, obviously he's the big bad, but he barely had any lines. Now, one person I do have a gripe with, and that is Melina, actually. And the reason why Melina, like, even though Melina is not like the greatest popular fighter in the genre, she's a major important character in the story, in the lore of Mortal Kombat. So to reduce her down to like this bullshit thug role where she just says a couple lines and then dies, I think it's
Yes.
yeah. Sonya
Oh,
Blade
okay.
does her power move
Yeah,
thing.
she shoots her. Yeah, she
Yeah.
shoots her. You're right. Yeah.
So I wasn't happy with that. I was just like, all right, like it kind of sucks that they just killed her off,
yeah.
or maybe they'll find some way to bring her back. It's a fucking Mortal Kombat movie, so I
Yeah,
don't know.
everybody
Who
comes back
knows?
from the
Yeah.
other realm.
I
I think
don't-
that's what's gonna happen with Kano. By the way,
Yeah.
I think
He's gonna come
Kano's
with the
definitely
medal.
gonna come. He's gonna come with the metal plate on his face,
Yeah,
and he's gonna be part of their realm fighting for them. And I think that's how they're gonna bring him back in the next one because they definitely have to have him use the whole movie, and they'll probably bring back Melina, probably something similar, and maybe give it the more richer backstory because they did have like Katana's blade in the background,
yeah.
like little
They hinted at it. Yeah,
Easter eggs like that, you know. But I do
Yeah.
agree with that. That her story was a major story. Her being a clone. I mean, it's supposed to be a clone of Katana that gone
Right.
bad, and you know.
And then so my other piece of negative comment on the movie, sorry, is I loved how they set up everything between the feud between Sub-Zero and Scorpion,
Hmm.
only to not see Scorpion for the last 10 minutes of the fucking movie. And then so you see this like this battle finally built up to that point, and what confused the hell out of me. This is not a breaking point. I'm not saying this is a breaking point, but this is me nitpicking on things. He has been in hell this entire time. Where the fuck did he learn English? Because he says "get over here" for the sake of saying "get over here," and then speaks Japanese for the duration of the movie.
And
That's true.
Rosetta
I
Stone,
was thinking
bro.
about that.
Rosetta
What
Stone
the
in
hell?
hell.
Well, maybe
No.
he always knew English. You don't know his backstory.
But he was from feudal Japan. They didn't have English then.
Kevin has something to say, guys.
yo,
Uh,
I'm confused with that because not only that, how the fuck did Sub-Zero know English? Like they were fighting people that were speaking English to them and they understood it. I'm like, nah, get the fuck out of here.
Well, Sub-Zero's
Sub-Zero's
different
been
though,
here.
because he's been
Yeah.
living this entire time.
Yeah, but he still does not speak English the entire movie. Is what I'm concerned about. But how does he
Does he
know what
not?
everyone is? No, the
no,
entire
he speaks Chinese.
He spoke
speaks
Chinese the whole time. I can't remember.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even that, how the fuck does Sub-Zero know Chinese? I mean, how the fuck does Scorpion know Chinese?
He
I'm
doesn't.
like, what? He doesn't. So he
No.
just knew what he
Because-
just knew.
No,
what,
he's
because
Japanese.
because Sub-Zero spoke Japanese also to him, but he spoke Chinese first, and Scorpion went and said, "I don't understand what you're saying, but just so you know, I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
And then they move on to the
So
fight
that
and
was
stuff
the
like that.
and that was a great part I thought they did on that, not just making it two different clans, but it's like, you know, the classic Japanese versus Chinese.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting to add on to it.
Yeah.
You know, so
I don't know.
I like the movie. I know the movie was good. I mean, yeah, they had little
Yeah.
nitpick things you can nitpick, but when
Life
that fight when they
expectancy,
started fighting, you know, Sub-Zero and Scorpion at the end, it was a great fight.
It was.
My biggest gripe about the whole movie overall is that this movie was so high. It's not a long movie. It's not a lot of
An hour
movie.
40.
Yeah. So this movie was so heavily promoted with showing you the first 7 minutes, showing you a fight scene between Sub-Zero and Scorpion. They showed you so much footage. They showed you a fatality. They showed you everything that you practically saw the movie in almost all. There wasn't too much scenes that were surprising. It was just like piecing together the beats.
Well, the
Because
thing
we've
is
seen
also-
and they needed to do it to try to make the money into theaters and all that BS.
Yeah.
And to go, hey, look, we're not just a crappy, you know, YouTube fucking Mortal Kombat movie. We are gonna be big. But it was just so heavily promoted that there was nothing that was a surprise.
To
this
mention
movie-
the promoting, my problem with that promoting is that the biggest focus in all the marketing was Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And there was barely any Sub-Zero and Scorpion. It was Sub-Zero chasing after this random dude that I really could care less about.
Well, that's
And then Scorpion
that's my
eventually
second-
comes out.
That's not another big gripe I have with the movie is that they should have picked a character from the series. I don't know why they decided to make a new character.
Yeah.
Like I literally had to go, who the fuck is this name? And then the powers they gave him were super lame.
Right.
Just the armor, like what?
He looked like a
Doesn't
Power
make any
Ranger.
sense. Yeah, and he pulled out like those fucking little fucking knife, those police fucking baton things, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what? This is bad. Like that. No, I don't like the way that looks. I don't like the way it looked. That looked really cheesy. It looked worse than Cabal's outfit. Was his armor skin thing,
Yeah.
and I think they should have stuck with. You know,
They could have easily
don't-
just still done Liu Kang, like, you know, that he's going through the ranks of Mortal Kombat. They could have done Johnny Cage, and by the way, Johnny Cage
Yeah.
is in the movie. He could have been the one to like observe the whole Mortal
it should
Kombat
have.
lore
It should have
and
been
stuff.
maybe Johnny Cage doing it and training, but then what it is I think the reason why they chose not to do it So Johnny Cage is a real big jokey character,
Yeah.
and you can't have two. You
Two
can't
of
have him and Kano trying to
Yeah.
outshine each other.
Yeah.
So I see why they did that and didn't make him. But they still could have picked something. Maybe focusing more on Sub-Zero. I mean, a Scorpion or something. I don't know. But either way, I think picking this random fucking guy. I like the fact that they kind of tried to tie it into the beginning, where it was like he's the, which is unlike any other lore in this. In this, it's a brand new lore, which he's the son of Scorpion, or one of his kids, or one of the fucking village little idiots that
it still
lived
felt
in the fucking
forced.
thing. Yeah, it felt super forced and they tried to tie it together with that, and that's the part that I really didn't like and I didn't appreciate because they had so much more characters they could have done. Still, but Jax was cool. Jax with his arms, come on.
Nah, okay. Yeah, Jack. Okay, so I'm gonna go with I'm gonna take the assist from Danny, because I got to take that, throw it up there, because I got to get that layup. The way that they gave Jax, not even that, just in general, how everyone got their powers for me felt stupid. Like honestly, it felt like it wasn't like a cop out, but it was like they could have did it another way or something. The way Kano got his powers, okay, all right, he's a joke character. He eventually gets angry. He gets the eye.
Yeah.
Sonya just getting the beams, I was like, they could have just made it technology.
So they took whatever days or weeks, you can't really tell because they don't establish a timeline while they're training and get these powers. But yeah, Sonya Blade just killed Kano and then appears just like that in the next scene with her powers.
Like, but they also tried to like show you that Sonya Blade was a much better fighter than all of them. Anyway, like she quickly, took out Kano in the beginning or whatever. Like she was a better fighter, she was better trained, but she was being the classic, like you're a woman, you don't have it, you don't have a mark, go away.
Yeah.
And she was like, what the hell? I can fight too. And I think that's what they were trying to do at the end. I was like, I'm already trained, I can do this shit.
Yeah.
So it just comes automatic. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, no. Even so, like even what they did that, I would have felt more if she was chosen and Jax wasn't, and he just got the arms. Like, I'm like, it would have made more sense because I thought Sonya was well trained, but they were just like, oh, whatever. She's a female or whatever, and then she eventually gets her powers and kills two people, like literally nothing. She kills two people back to back, like on some Call of Duty double kill shit. I was like, nah, get out of here with that. I was already like when she and especially like Melina's death felt like so like it was like it was instantaneous.
I was kind of glad that they did do the mouth thing eventually,
but
because it seemed like they weren't going to do that, but then it happens like at the last moment.
Yeah, it happens right before she dies. That's like you opening a door and then the door ends up hitting you back or something. Like it's so dumb. It was like I don't know. I hated that because I was like that was so it was so dumb to do it like that. They should have just like had her either with the mask and then like you can't see her mouth and then she already has the mouth like that or something. For her to just like do the Joker smile and be like, "How you want to know how I got these scars? I just opened my mouth wide." And I'm like, no. I kept getting like when I saw that I was like, and she's dead, and I was like, well, I'm done. I'm already invested. I'm not invested anymore.
Oh,
what was that? Oh, I thought Randy was saying. All right, well, I'm gonna leave it at that. Those are our thoughts of the pros and cons of the movie. I honestly still think they should make another sequel. I think they could still do better.
They could. I think they'll make a sequel, and then they can do it in Outworld or actually have the tournament go on.
I think it's just like I think they took it a little too seriously for a game that's very ridiculous. So the movie was just as ridiculous, but they were taking themselves too serious. That was kind of my feeling.
The thing with that movie, I don't feel like it's bad, but I like Danny likes it. Cerebral Guardian likes it. I didn't hate the movie. I just kind of didn't. And I didn't hate it or like it. It was just like I watched the movie. Like you know what I mean? Like
it's like
I'm
done.
Yeah, it was like I'm done. Like once I got to the ending, I was like, oh, come the fuck on. I want to get out of here or something. But
but you got your headphones.
I'm using my nephew's headphones. I'm getting mine tomorrow.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna move on now. We're gonna go to the next article. Huh?
So you guys are done?
We are.
Yeah,
done.
we're finally done.
Yeah, we're done. You can get away from the corner now.